Good afternoon, everybody. This is our Civilized Podcast for the week ending October 3rd, 2021. I am Gabriel Bruce, your co host, along with,
And I am Darian Tucker, also your host.
and we are happy for you all to join us here tonight as we come on and entertain and inform you, the public, about Civilized Eyes. Right now, we'll open up with our weekly announcements. Darren will give us our announcements, and then we'll get started with our podcast.
Okay. So our announcements are as follows. There's an upcoming Hummingbird event anniversary, in which we're we're wanting to participate in, but until we are given, reach out and get permission, uh, we're not really gonna. We really don't have that platform just as yet. Um, there's a Meet the Blind month coming up, uh, to which the NFB has been a great host of for many years. Those that do not know what the NFB is, the National Federation of the Blind, uh, like a government for the blind to help them achieve their independence. And the next thing is that we're going to be looking to bringing y'all some videos, a series of videos that would teach everyone lessons about a computer software that helps the blind and low sighted operate their computer programs and filling out applications. So that's it, and we're going to move into the topics. We're going to speak a little bit about SB 202. We're going to talk a little bit about JAWS versus Mac voiceover and talk about Android versus the Apple iOS phone. Back to you, Cameron.
Okay, thank you. So, SB 202, we know is a new Georgia Senate bill that has been passed um, in the Georgia Senate by the legislation of Georgia, and it was also signed into law by Governor Brian Kemp. And we know that it had took effect, and we as people of the disabled community have seen that once we have dug into the bill, we have found out that we have found some things that will be disenfranchising, and some things will be different for us with this new upcoming voting cycle. We know on some of the changes with the shortening of the time to turn in your absentee ballot from 180 days to now 78 days, and the trimming down of the early voting process to 1 week of 9 to 5, and also to one weekend. And we know that also we have read through this bill, also have some uh, provisions on food and water, and also access has been given to other people to our votes. And also, when it comes to um, getting us those who have sight help, we are also having some discrepancies in that. So just to get started, also, Darren, what do you think about SB 202 right now?
Well, I think that SB 202 is a legislation that is gonna it's gonna take some time for the local people, local communities to adjust to and become informed about, because it is a new law. Anything that is, like as far as law that is new, it could take a little time for a lot, most people to become aware of it. So this is why we're taking the initiative to speak about SB 202 and many platforms. Tuesday with Tudo, Grassroots Connectors, the Arc of Georgia, Rev Up Georgia, and even on our Civilized podcast. Civilized Eyes podcast. I think if the SB 202 needs to be, analyzed by the people that are interested in voting, so their votes can count, and also be aware that there are provisions in the SB 202 that kind of challenges and kind of makes it hard for a little hard and of a hassle for disabled people, as far as like transportation, finding the right person, right certified person that is able to assist them with filling out the voter registration forms and absentee ballots, and not putting nobody in jeopardy where they might end up getting a misdemeanor just for helping them fill out their registration forms and things like that.
So, if someone would ask you, what would you say the most challenging portion of that bill would be to a person with a visual impairment or some form of a disability?
Uh, that's a good question. Maybe it's the one where for those demographics where it's like a metropolitan area where the lines um, are kind of very long, and you know things like that, and people got to stand in line, and those with disabilities might be diabetics and they got to eat at a certain time, stuff like that. But they might have ate already when they was at the end of the line, but now that they in the middle of the line, it's been hours, uh, minutes since they have something to eat, so they need something else. But if they get out, having to get out of line and go back to their car and get something to eat, they will lose their place in line, and no one, and then somebody may have a food table, but the food table has to be like 25 feet away from the voters standing in line, so they got to walk 25 feet out of their place in line. But who to say that a person behind them will save their spot? So that's another way that they might end up going to the end of the line. And then, they might just become frustrated with the system, and they might not even, just say, hey, you know, I guess I don't want to vote, because of this. This is crazy. That might be one of the most challenging to me. That's just my opinion, but uh, there could be another one for someone else.
I'm seeing the Dropbox issue also. One Dropbox per 100,000 registered voters.
Oh yeah,
Uh, yeah, that's and and some people may not know what that Dropbox will be. And we think about it a lot of times. We have seen. And I remember growing up, it was a back in the days. It used to be a mailbox on the corners where you could drop your mail off, and they would come pick it up. Um, uh, 8 to 5 sometimes, and they would go around the city and pick up your mail. And it was very convenient. And now if you just have one drop box and it has to be in a government facility, uh, who knows how far you have to travel, and also um, we know the hours of the government facility. And what if the question is now, what if that government facility has a COVID mandate? What you
yeah,
understand? What if there are not allowing people to come into the building to due to COVID?
yeah,
So
yeah.
this
That
this
could, stuff like that could pop up.
right. And so I would like for that to be more investigated. And just think going forward, and like we have always said, me and you have said that right now we can't do nothing about it going for the cycle of November, but we can advocate going forward. So some of the things that I would ask for going forward is more clarification. And I don't know how you feel about that, but just give a hard clarification on what we can and can't do, and take out the innuendos and take out the speculation, so we won't have any doubt going forward on what we can and can't do.
Yeah, I totally agree. You made a clever point about when you said when the SB 202 provision said that every for every 100,000 uh, people, they're going to sign one Dropbox. And you
Mhm.
said that is that does what if a population? What if a county has like 10,000 people? Where they have to have 10,000? Where they have to work their way up to 100,000 people to get a Dropbox? Or is they saying that per 100,000 people and under will receive one Dropbox? It's not really clear. When you said I didn't see that I didn't see uh, that at first until you brought that up.
Right, because let's take Lagrange, Hogansville, West Point, I think some of Pine Mountain, and all in Troup County, right? That's all in Troup County. You have four cities, but that I'm pretty sure you don't have 100,000 voters between the four cities alone, which make up the one county. So is it just is it one drop box in the inside of those four cities? So what if you live in Hogansville? Do you have to come to LaGrange to drop it off? Or if you're in West Point and you're in the city of in the county of Troup, do you have to come to Hogansville to cast your vote?
That
And if that's what that needs to be clarified and be made clear, and or is it per county? Because like I said, it's four cities that make up the one county. So even if it's one drop box per 100,000, or you have to have 100,000 for one drop box, that still tells that's only going to be one drop box for the four cities. Where's that going to be placed at? And would that discourage people from making that long drive just from Hogansville to come to the Grange, or from West Point to go to Hogansville to put your ballot in a drop box, and then and it had to be at a government facility, so we know it'll be at City Hall somewhere. Majority that's kind of secure. So a lot of our secure buildings or is the government center. We know they have the sheriff is in there to uh, secure the facility. So that would that be the secure facility that they use? So once we get that clarified, then we will know. And like we said, we're up against the clock right now for this election, and we know we have a local election here in Lagrange, our county commissioner election. City of Hogansville is also having an election. They will be electing a mayor, and we have some state elections. I think next year we have the governor race is coming up next year. But a lot of attention when it comes to election only comes on when it's a 4-year presidential term. So how do you feel about local voting? Like
oh,
about voting in your local election?
I'm all for local voting. Local voting. That's what you live in that community, that area, and there are policies created uh, all the time in your local government. You wanna know about your local leaders, your county leaders, as well as the federal leaders. This is there's something there's a system, there's a hierarchy, the chain of command.
Mhm.
Um, you just don't know that your county leaders might work their way up to being the governor of your state and end up becoming the president of the United States or some other type of office in the House of Representatives or the Senate. So you'll watch the college football players work their way up to the NFL. You know, you wanna you
Right.
wanna you wanna follow these things. These things kind of they affect you. Not even kinda, they affect your community, and you wonder why things are being torn down and new things are being built, and you know you don't know why. It was built for. You don't know the reason why it was built, and but you need other things built in your community, and other people know that it needs. But if you don't have a voice, then why should they build something that you haven't said? Closed mouth don't get fed. Yeah, so
Right.
local voting is important as well as federal voting. Please vote locally. We got elections coming up for our local in Troup County. Um, like Gabriel said, coming up in November. You know, so please get it. If you need more information, contact the government center. If you need help finding their phone number, email address, send an email to us at Civilized Eyes Podcast at gmail.com. CivilizedEyespodcast at gmail.com.
And we can uh, control policies. We usually think that a lot of times it just be the politicians who just go up and they make up everything. But we as the people, we have a voice, and not only us as people with disabilities, but also everyone. We all have a voice in how we want our government ran, and that's by electing our conscience the way we. And nobody can make us or intimidate us. And I tell everybody, learn your candidates, learn them, fill them out, question them, call them up, or show up to some of the events. Uh, watch this. A lot of it is on Zoom or Facebook Live now. So watch the event, hear what they have to say on issues that may affect you and your community, and 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 ask questions. Don't be afraid to ask questions and find out where they stand. And if they can't give you a question, a good answer on the question on where they stand on your issue, then they may not be the candidate for you. And even if hold those accountable for what they have promised that they were going to do. And a lot of times we in the past have just accepted and what we have voted in and just accepted, and we're not held anyone accountable. And if you're going to get out, you're going to campaign, and you're going to entrust my vote, at least be a man enough or a woman enough to stand up for on your campaign promises that you made to the people.
Right. Okay, so the second topic is JAWS versus Mac voiceover. JAWS is a software that is downloaded onto computers, whether it be desktop or laptop, for low vision and blind users. Um, so the software kind of gives, I mean, not kind of, but it gives the blind and low vision users the ability to see what's on their screen through audio description. Um, it pretty much uh, gives the blind the ability to go type in the website they want to go to, uh, fill out applications, uh, watch videos on YouTube, Facebook, all of those things, and Mac VoiceOver does the same thing. Now, I have experience with JAWS. I haven't really come across using the Mac VoiceOver, but some people choose Mac and some people choose JAWS. Uh, so, Gabriel, what have you ever used Mac before?
Yes, I have. I have used both,
Okay,
uh, and I like both. But for my PC, I'm a Windows guy. That would be my personal preference. So I have Jaws, and it could be because I'm more comfortable with it because I've been using Jaws for 20 some years,
uh,
and I'm just getting into the Mac. But when it comes to computer It's has to be Jaws for me.
And I'm a Jaws too. Jaws guy too. I have Jaws 2021 version. Uh, I haven't used the Mac like I said, so I really can't say too much on it. I heard a lot of things about it. A lot of blind users recommends it because they say it's just straight out of the box. And you can turn on a voiceover. You don't not, and that's you don't have to download anything. It's already on there. Jaws, when you buy a Windows computer, you have to purchase Jaws and download Jaws onto your computer. So it's kind of more feasible. It's more feasible for to get a Mac if you don't have the funds enough or you don't want to go through the process of going through like Voc Rehab or any agencies like that, discounts to get JAWS on your Windows computer. But I am a JAWS user, and I will recommend JAWS too. It's great.
Now, it does come with a built-in 40 full access for 40 minutes. Uh, it's give you 40 minutes. It's what's called demo. It was called the demo version, and it runs in full access for 40 minutes at a time. Then you have to restart. Uh, and like he said, it's something that you download on your computer, and versus our Apple, the Mac, it comes built in internally. It was a feature added into it, so a couple of clicks and it's there. Versus you have to go out and seek for it. And if the website is, I think it's www.jaws.com. You think of Jaws, a lot of times you might, if you search for it, it might have. I remember when I used to search for it growing up, they used to put me on to Jaws, the shark. Remember the
Yeah,
movie
JAWS.
Jaws? Yeah,
Yeah,
would always come up. And Freedom Scientific
yeah.
is the
That's the website right there.
yeah,
That's what
yeah. I'm sorry.
freedomscientific.com.
Yeah, freedomscientific.com. I'm sorry. Is the website that you go to, and it's www.freedomscientific.com. I was
Hmm.
thinking about what I usually put in the search box to get it, but it's freedomscientific.com, and it's a good program to use. I recommend it if you're a first time computer user who's visually impaired. Um, Please download the demo version. It gives you access to a lot of things. Um, I read the newspaper. We surf the internet. We with Jaws, we are online just like everybody else. Shop, we eBay, anything. So get on there, learn it, and Darren, he's a certified. You're certified, correct? When it comes to
No,
teaching.
I'm not certified, but I have a great bit of information on it. I'm almost like a certified,
Okay,
JAWS IT.
right. So, and then we'll be
Uh,
doing some videos coming forward,
and so,
starting with the basics on showing us how to use some of these accessibility products, and we're looking forward to some of his videos, our videos here on Civilized Eyes, to break down how to use these accessibility products so our life as blind individuals can be easier going forward.
yeah. And I just want to let everyone know that freedomscientific.com, that website is where you can go to get the demo version and the full version. Uh, the demo version is free for 40 minutes, and the full version, costs you about 12,000. $1,200.
Yeah, it's a very
Something like
expensive
that.
program.
$1,000. The John
Yeah.
software itself costs like 1,000, and the maintenance fees cost another like type fee, just to maintain everything. Uh, And what else? Oh, and Freedom Scientific also has like a manual, uh, 9 different topics to learn like the basics of JAWS, how to operate everything, navigation keys, shortcut keys, and we're gonna talk about that. Uh, in the series of these videos about JAWS, how to use JAWS and everything like that, the basic things you need to know. And another software I don't want to leave out is NVDA. Um, NVDA is another software that can be downloaded onto your computer to give you that accessibility, and it is free. It's not a demo version. It's not like 40 minutes, but it's free. Once you download it, you can use it all the time without downloading it again, or you won't be kicked out after 40 minutes or nothing like that. The only thing about that is they don't offer you a manual to learn uh, uh the basics of NVDA, how to operate it, like JAWS for free. The manual is not free. You have to buy the manual with NVDA. So that's another one. You can go to nvaccess .org to download that. It's free. Get the full version. Uh, some of the uh, some of the shortcut keys are similar to JAWS. So once you watch our JAWS video, you could probably try to use that on the NVDA, uh, and it may possibly work. Um, Same thing, kind of similar. Mac a voiceover is kind of similar. So all these softwares are kind of similar.
Dad, don't be.
So uh, now that we've done that, uh, now that we covered that, not saying it like that to say that I was so glad to move on from that topic. We got also a topic that is also interesting: the Android versus the iOS iPhone. Uh, so the Android versus the iOS Apple phone. So
So you have used both, correct?
yes, I have.
And so, what do you think? Give me your opinion on both of them, and then I give you mine.
So I have. Man, I love this topic right here, man, because I started off as an Android fanatic. I love the Android. I love the Galaxy. I love that phone. I've been loving Android ever since I got my first phone at the age of 14 or 15, one of them. And I just love the Google search engine, the voice of Google, and everything like that. How Google accurately pulls things up when I ask her to. Uh, Now, but I did have a problem with Android. The Android uh, software, uh, in less than a year, began to move slow on me. The voice system on the Android, I would, I know I would swipe over to the next item, but it would take like 5 seconds, 10 seconds for the voice assistant to read and give me an audio description. So it was a delay in the phone. If anybody understands that, it was kind of like a glitch in less than a year, where it could not be fixed. I would delete a lot of my old apps that I don't use. I would delete a lot of my pictures. The phone would still move slowly. Now, when I moved over to Apple phone, everything was different. I could move to an item and it will read the item instantly. I'm gonna see, a year from now, or a couple months from now, like 7 months, 8 months, to see if it's gonna act the same way it did. But so far, this Apple phone is the best thing for me right now, and I would recommend an iPhone over the Android as of right now. because of many reasons. Um, it's awesome. It's awesome. So what about you, Cable?
I have used both. Started out with the Galaxies, the Samsung Galaxy phones, using their voiceover even before I found out about the iPhone. And like you said, the reaction time is very, very slow, very slow. And that's one of my that was one of my problems. The reaction time was slow, and just the use the swipe it around. It was very difficult and frustrating to use for me. And when I found the iPhone for the first time, I fell in love all over again.
Yeah,
The speed, from the speed and the access that it allowed me to have uh, changed how I communicated. And I very, very recommend that not only blind, I would recommend anybody get an iPhone in general, but I think every blind person should at least start with an iPhone, and then it will change your life communication wise. And we know that accessibility technology is getting better by the day with the updates that they're doing. It has Siri. Voiceover is what we're talking about. It's very detailed, and the apps are more apps are accessible for us with vision problems than they are on Android. And for the creators who put that in, to know that if any phone I buy will all automatically come with that built in to the software. So if I pay $200 for an iPhone, and the software itself, uh, for me is priceless. So just to be able to use the voiceover aspect of it is worth the money to spend on the iPhone.
right. And and you know, we still talk about the Android versus the iPhone. Now, I'm just going to include how jaw, you know, you get in JAWS, getting you a computer, and becoming acquainted with your computer's keyboard will play a big part in you know, speeding you up and texting on your phone and things like that, whether it be Android or an Apple device phone. Uh, they have Bluetooth keyboards that you can connect with the Android or the iPhone that will kind of speed up your text messages and operate, you know, maneuvering through Safari and maneuvering through Google Chrome or whatever type internet uh, app that you have on the Android. Uh, Now I experienced myself that on both phones that without, you know, using one finger to tap one letter at a time, and you know, trying to use that prediction. That sometimes what I'm still, even if I type some of the letters up, my prediction still doesn't come up the word that
Right.
I'm actually trying to type. It kind of it takes too long for me. You know, I gotta get my messages and emails out instantly. Um, because I might end up be running late, like you know, to get this podcast to send out the podcast emails. You know, so I gotta have something that's instant, and a Bluetooth keyboard has been a great help to me. So you know, you learning JAWS or voiceover and getting acquainted with your computer's keyboard will help you out when you need to now speed up text messaging on your phone by uh, by purchasing a Bluetooth keyboard, and they also have shortcut keys to them. Another thing, you know, with the Android, some of the Android apps on this Play Store, that's for the blind. You know, some of them are not good apps. You know, they have
Right.
glitches in them, and they don't read stuff accurately. You know, they kind of assume what you're pointing the camera at or whatever. The Apple apps, however, have great apps and they're accurate. You know, in less than like 2 seconds, with the uh seeing AI app, it reads my all my money bills, $20, all my money bills. But uh, so you say, Tucker, so why you just can download seeing AI on your Android phone then? Uh, the Android doesn't have the Seeing Eye app in its Play Store. You see, it has something called Sullivan Plus, and it doesn't have the option to read currency. So those are some other things that's good about the iPhone over the Android. I'm sorry, Android man, but you gotta you gotta
Good.
you gotta
Yes.
you gotta get right. You know?
Yeah, you gotta tighten up, step your game up, and then that's what and feedback. That's what I learned to do is give a lot of feedback to the app developers and some of the blogs, and just
Oh
let them
yeah,
know that this ain't working, and
yeah.
we want to use your apps, create them and make them accessible. We will use them. We want to play the games just like everybody else and use the apps. And I know I'm a Facebook user and I'm a Twitter user, Instagram, and
So
YouTube.
I have a question.
Okay,
So when you had the Android, did you go on Facebook?
I tried.
Oh,
I
so
tried.
I noticed uh when I was on my siblings, they were showing me their Facebook and they had like the voiceover on that the voiceover would actually interpret a picture for them. I mean for someone using voiceover. It would be like
Hmm.
two persons in the picture smiling and holding
Right,
each other, at a park.
right.
Man, that helps me
Yeah.
visualize, the theme of a picture. Now, if Android doesn't have that, that's another thing that they might need to try to implement into the software of
Right.
voice assistant.
Because we know Apple has that picture description. It has improved. I have been using iPhone when it didn't have picture description. Now even it would tell me who's in the picture. It would be like a picture of Mackenzie holding the umbrella if she's one of my friends on Facebook. So uh,
Yeah,
and that's great too. And it is very descriptive. It's getting very description, so we can be in that moment and know what's in the pictures that goes along with the caption that we read, how to describe food, picture of a person sitting at a table eating a hamburger. You know,
yeah,
it'll go down to that.
yeah.
You know,
And I got something for Apple that they might that I like that that I like with the Android what they did. Kind of I was gonna say that's another reason why Bluetooth keyboard is good with the Apple. I noticed that with the Android, when I type, try, click to be in edit mode in the URL, or in my in the edit box, when I go to Gmail and it asks me to put my email in, when I'm typing on the keyboard on the phone, the virtual keyboard, it automatically by the space bar has .com. So
hmm
I could put Darian22931 at Gmail, and then I can go to the space bar, right side of the space bar, and just click .com instead of typing out period .com. But see, the Apple phone does not have that feature. It wants you to type out the whole thing period .com. That's my thing with Apple. If they would do that, man, this Apple phone would be good. Decrease my delay increase my speed and getting typing quickly. What I was gonna say, but anyway, in that area, I use my Bluetooth keyboard. I just type it. I'm a fast typer, so I just use my Bluetooth keyboard for that. And I just want to say to Android, hey, I got your phone too. I got the Galaxy A11. I still use it because sometimes Apple don't work good. The voiceover, she'll say, "One moment, I'm on it."
Yeah, Siri.
Still looking.
Yeah.
But Google,
Mm.
man, Google is real speedy on retrieving information. So
Yeah.
both phones have good things about them, and they both have negative things too.
And like we said, we're talking about accessibility products. So maybe one video we'll get into Alexa versus the Google Assistant.
Oh man,
Uh,
I love Google, man.
and
I love Google, man.
I have used both of them, and I will give you my opinion on both of them. And also big difference, but
Yeah.
that's for a future show.
All right. So if okay, so if we want to just thank everyone for watching tonight's podcast. It was a great one. Very informative, and get engaged in the upcoming events that I mentioned at the beginning of this podcast. I want to give y'all our email address to email us questions and comments. Comment below this video, subscribe to our YouTube channel, share it, and help us grow. We are a newly established podcast. Our email is civilized eyes podcast@gmail.com. That is CIVILIZED EYES podcast@gmail.com. Our cash app is $CapC IVILIZED Eyes Podcast. Please help us out with donations so we can expand to different areas. We want to try to get a website where we can upload our podcast, our podcast archive and other information that people can go to learn about the different things that we talk about and learn about us in depth. We're gonna have our policies and everything like that up on there when we become a registered organization. We seek to collaborate with other organizations to, advance the eyes of the general and specific public populations about blindness and blindness related subjects, but not limited to those items. We seek to just better all communities that are willing to listen in every area. So, that being said, I'm going to give it back to Gabriel. Having any last words?
We just thank each and every one of y'all for joining us this week, and we look forward to coming back and podcasting with you again on next Sunday, the same time. And echoing with 7 o'clock, echoing what he's saying, please share our podcast, share our channel, subscribe, tell your friends and family members to subscribe as we grow, and send us an email, any questions or comments, and also help us grow and get into our communities and have a civilized conversation and going forward. So, like I said, once again, thank y'all. Have a blessed week, and God bless each and every one.
God bless.